The Champions League. For many, the Champions League is seen as the greatest competition in club football. Dating back to the 1950s when it was still called the European Cup, its design and creation was to allow the best teams in European football to compete against each other to find out who would be crowned the champions of Europe. Over the years, the competition has evolved and changed, from rebranding to increasing club participation, which in turn has played a part in it now being seen as the elite level of football that all clubs and players strive to be a part of. And today on the Bosman Viewing, we are really going to test your knowledge on the Champions League and, to be more specific, the records that have been set over the years in the competition. So if you're someone that thinks they know a thing or two about European football, then this is the challenge for you. Now here it is, it's time to get ready to take part in what we call the toughest football quiz on YouTube series. In this edition, it's all about the records that have been set in the Champions League. To kick things off, we're going to talk about Real Madrid, who currently hold the record for winning the competition more than any other club, winning it a total of 13 times. But the question is, how many times have they been runners-up? Have they finished runners-up 2 times? Have they actually been runners-up in the competition 3 times? Is it a little bit more than that? Have they finished runners-up 4 times? Or have they got to the final and not won it 5 times? And you have about 15 seconds to decide. And the answer to this one here is 3 times, in 1962, 1964 and 1981. Next up is a question about AC Milan, another club synonymous with the Champions League, having won it 7 times. But the question is, what year did they win their first European Cup? Did they manage to do that in 1963? Did it take a little bit longer? Did they end up winning it in 1965? Or was their first title coming in 1967? Or did they win that first European Cup in 1969? And just like before, your time starts now. If you answered 1963 on that one, then you got that one right. Now for a question centred around the British clubs that have won the competition over the years. And there have been many that have been able to achieve this feat, but what we want to know is who is the first British club to actually win the European Cup in 1967? Was it Aston Villa that were able to achieve this feat? Was it actually Glasgow Rangers were the first British club to do so? Or was it Manchester United being the first club? Or was it Glasgow Celtic that won it in 1967? And just like before, your time starts now. And the answer for the first British club to win the competition is Celtic. Next up is a question about the runners-up in the competition, and one major club holds this unfortunate record where they have finished as runners-up on 7 different occasions. But what we want to know is, which club is it? Is it Benfica that have finished as runners-up that many times? Is it actually Juventus that have been runners-up on 7 different occasions? Is it actually Bayern Munich that holds that record? Or is it Liverpool that finished up runners-up that often? And your time starts now. So the club with the runners-up record is Juventus. Here's a question about the record win in the current Champions League format, and this happened in a match between Helsinki versus Bangor City in the second qualifying round in the 2011-2012 campaign. But the question is, what was the score that day? Did Helsinki win 10-0? Was it better than that? Did they win 11-0? Were they able to concede a goal? Did it end up finishing 11-1? Or was it a higher scoring match than that? Did it finish 12-2? And you got about 15 seconds to decide. So the scoreline on that day was actually 10-0 to Helsinki. Now we're going to ask a question about penalties in the competition, and one club holds a record for being awarded the most amount of penalties during the Champions League era with a total of 51. But what we want to know is, what club is that? Have Manchester City been awarded the most amount of penalties? Is it actually Barcelona that holds that record? Or is it their rivals Real Madrid that has the record? Or is it Chelsea that have been awarded the most penalties in the Champions League era? Time to think. So Barcelona is the answer on this one after they've been awarded 51 penalties to hold that record. Next is a goal scoring record, and PSG currently holds a record for scoring the most amount of goals during the group stage, and it happened in 2017-2018. But how many goals did they score in that campaign? Did they score 23 group stage goals? Was it better than that? Were they able to score 24 goals? Did they go one better? Was it actually 25 goals? Or were they able to record 26 group stage goals during that time? And just like before, your time starts now. And 25 group stage goals was the answer on this one. Now for another group stage record, and one club holds this unique record as being the only team to have ever drawn all 6 of their group stage games. And the question we have is, who is that club? Is it Spartak Moscow that holds that record? Is it actually Anderlecht that were able to draw all 6 of their games? Is it Galatasaray that holds that record? Or is it AEK Athens? And just like before, your time's about to start. And AEK Athens are the ones that hold that record, having drawn all 6 of their group stage games in 2002-2003. This next record is all about consecutive clean sheets, and one club holds a record in the competition after achieving 10 clean sheets in a row. But which club is that? Is it Ajax that holds that record? Or is it in fact Inter Milan that were able to get 10 consecutive clean sheets? Is it Arsenal the ones that hold the record? Or is it actually Porto that holds that record? And your 15 seconds are about to start. So it was in fact Arsenal that were able to achieve this feat back in the 2005-2006 campaign. Now for some player records, and in 2006 Barcelona were the club that won the Champions League that year. But what legendary player from another side became the first player to reach 100 appearances in the current Champions League format at that time? Was it Italian icon Paolo Maldini? Was it Madrid legend Raul? Was it the Dutch maestro Clarence Seedorf? Or was it Ballon d'Or winner Pavel Nedved? And your time starts now. and it was Raul that became the first player to make 100 appearances in the current Champions League format. Sticking with the record appearances theme, the top 10 list of all-time appearance makers is a who's who of legends and icons. But who is currently the only British player to make it into the top 10? Is that player Paul Scholes? Is it in fact Steven Gerrard that makes it into the top 10? Is it actually John Terry? Or is that player Ryan Giggs? You probably guessed by now, your time is about to start. And the answer here is Ryan Giggs, who is currently the only British player in the top 10 with 145 appearances. Now let's look at a goal scoring record, and one player holds a record for scoring the most amount of goals in a single campaign in the history of the competition. But who is that player? Is it Mario Gomez that holds that record? Is it Cristiano Ronaldo that broke the record? Was it Gerd Müller who still holds that record? Or is it Lionel Messi? Now's your time to think about it. And that player is Cristiano Ronaldo, who was able to score 17 goals in the 2013-2014 campaign. Next up is a question about Ruud van Nistelrooy, who is currently in the top 10 list of top goal scorers in the history of the competition with 56 goals. But the question is, how many games did it take him to score those 56 goals? Did he manage to do it in 73 games? Was it actually in 83 games he got that goal tally? Did it take him a little bit longer? Did he do it in 93 games? Or was it actually 103 games it took him to get those goals? Now your time starts. So the answer here is it took Ruud van Nistelrooy 73 games to score 56 Champions League goals. Here we have a question about a very unique goal scoring record, as only one player has ever scored a Champions League goal for 6 different teams. Can you name that player? So is it Samuel Eto'o? Is it actually Brazil's Ronaldo? Is it the well-travelled Zlatan Ibrahimovic? Or is it equally well-travelled Christian Vieri? And you've got about 15 seconds. And the answer to this question is Zlatan Ibrahimovic has scored a Champions League goal for 6 different teams. Now for a question about the fastest ever goal scored in the Champions League, and the player who holds this record managed to score the goal against Real Madrid after only 10.12 seconds in 2007. But who is that player? Was the goal scored by Kaká? Was the goal actually scored by David Villa? Was the goal scored by Filippo Inzaghi? Or was it actually scored by Roy Mackay? And you know by now your time is about to start. And the player that holds that record is Roy Mackay. And now for our final question, it's about the oldest hat-trick scorers. There have been plenty of ageing legends to score hat-tricks in the competition, but who holds the record as being the oldest? Does Wayne Rooney hold the record? Is it actually Olivier Giroud that currently holds the record? Is it Thierry Henry that was the oldest scorer of a hat-trick? Or was it Andrei Shevchenko? And you've got about 15 seconds. And the oldest scorer of a hat-trick in the Champions League history is Olivier Giroud. And that's the end of our Champions League records quiz. Were you able to get most of them right? Let us know in the comment section below. And as always, this is the Bosman Viewing, so make sure to try our other football quizzes in the series if you haven't already. If you enjoyed this video, if you could thumbs it up, that'd be great. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you on the next one.